we're gonna start in a seat. So if you're already there, making your way to any comfortable seat, crossing your legs, or or stretching them out in front of you, whatever you're comfortable with. If you do have any support that you can put underneath yourself, you're welcome to that as well. Letting ourselves settle into a seat. You can close your eyes if you'd like. Hands can rest on your legs, or if it helps to let them rest on your belly as we bring our attention to our breath. Begin inviting some really big breaths in and slowly letting them out. Deep breath in, feeling to the very top of our breath. Maybe holding it for a couple seconds before letting it fully exhale out, maybe through the mouth. We'll do this a few more times. Deep breath in, feeling to the very top of the lungs, holding it there, and then exhaling, slowly letting it out through the mouth. Doing this a few more times on your own timing. And with each exhale, letting ourselves relax, softening the belly, dropping the shoulders, releasing the brow. Releasing into whatever ground is holding us up right now. Letting the breath return to a natural rhythm. Checking in where we feel the breath today. We feel it in our bellies, in our rib cage, at our nostrils. Allowing ourselves to tune into that sensation. This is all where our attention can be right now. And taking these few moments to set any intention for your practice. What is bringing you here today? And as we get in touch with our breath, knowing that this is an anchor we can return to throughout our practice today. One of your next exhales, we'll let our ear drop to one shoulder. Either side is fine. Getting a little neck stretch here. Breathing into the side of the neck. And slowly letting the head drop down. Looking towards our belly, letting it be heavy. Big breaths to the back of the rib cage. And then going to the other side. So opposite ear dropping to the same shoulder. And then letting this turn into maybe some half circles, rocking back and forth, or some full circles. Yeah, greeting it with some curiosity. Doing what might feel familiar or new. Coming back to a neutral spine, we'll reach our right arm up towards behind us. And then we can leave that opposite arm, either it can reach back here, yeah, or it can just stay right here for support. And here, trying to feel expansion in the front of our body, pressing our palm into our back or to our neck, wherever it is, and letting our head feel right on top of our neck. And then releasing that, extending both of our arms really wide, really far. And then exhaling, letting them cross, kind of giving yourself a big hug, reaching for opposite shoulders here. You could take a moment, we can feel both really expansive here, and then you can also let this round, letting the head drop. Feeling tight, maybe secure here. And then releasing our hands, we'll reach that up, the left arm up and over for this shoulder, upper arm stretch. And feeling expansiveness in the front of our body. And then again, we'll extend our hands out wide. And then giving ourselves a hug, reaching the opposite arm over, grabbing opposite elbows, maybe taking a moment to arch up or letting this fold forward, letting it be yours here. And releasing our hands, going back to our seat. Take a breath here. And then we'll meet in a child's pose. So we'll cross our feet over, coming onto our knees and letting our hips sink back onto our feet. Head drops into our mat. Take a few big breaths into your mat, maybe opening the mouth and breathing in, exhaling into the ground. And a reminder that this practice is yours and my words are just a guide. And I'll offer as many options and modifications, but knowing you can always return to this child's pose or another neutral pose and make this practice whatever it is you most need tonight. Our next inhale, we'll shift into tabletop, coming onto our hands and knees, palms pressed into the ground, knees right below our hips, and then dropping our belly, inhaling, lifting into cow pose, chest expands, and then exhale, arching the spine, looking towards the belly button, cat. Inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the chest up, and exhale, looking towards the belly button. And then continuing this exploration, our cat and cow, on your own breath, and allowing this to turn into any other movements, any circles, looking over the shoulder. Again, greeting this curiosity and letting ourselves be guided by what feels good, what feels like it needs some attention. And then shifting back into our neutral tabletop and making sure our palms right below our shoulders. We're going to extend the right leg back behind us. Here, connecting our core to our spine, feeling that engaging. Staying here, option to reach that left hand out in front of you. A little more of a balance here. Back body engaged. Still feeling aligned here, so we're not pulling our shoulder out of its socket. Big breath. And then exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, expand. And exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, expand. One more, knee to elbow, looking towards our belly button, expand. And then letting that hand come down, and we'll let that leg cross over, looking over our left shoulder. So yeah, nice. And feeling length from edge of our foot all the way out the crown of our head, that right side body really extending. And then we're gonna swing that leg around, going the opposite. So it's gonna come along our right side and come around hips, hip length, and we're gonna come up into a gate pose up here, reaching that left arm up and over and coming into a side stretch. Nice, yeah, breathing here into the left side body. As if our breath can just expand out that left rib cage. And coming up and out of this, we'll meet back in our tabletop. So you can come back onto your knees, maybe taking a cat and cow here, any other neutralizing positions, and come back into our tabletop. And then we'll extend that left leg back behind us and engaging our core. And staying here, reaching that right arm out in front of us. Feeling strong here. We'll take a big breath in and exhale, bringing knee to elbow, looking towards belly button. Inhale, expand. And exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, expand. And one more, knee to elbow. Expand and letting that hand come down. Foot crosses over towards the right, looking over our right shoulder. Length along the left side body. And coming back to the center, letting that leg swing around, coming around the left side of our hip, coming into the skate pose. And then reaching up and over towards our left. Nice. And coming back to center, back on our hands and knees. And then tucking the toes, we'll lift our hips up back into down dog. So hips shift back, sending weight down our heels. Take a moment here, yeah, bend and stretch the legs, do something that what feels nice here, getting warmed up into our down dog. Now our next inhale will shift into plank. So rolling forward and keeping that belly engaged. We'll hold this for 3 breaths. 3 intentional breaths, finding a point of focus, feeling our full palm pressing into the ground. And then slowly lowering the knees, lowering our chest all the way down into the ground. Take a moment here, placing our palms right up next to our chest, lifting into cobra. So our shoulders lift up and down here, trying to keep our spine long. And then exhale, shifting back into down dog. So you can tuck the toes, go through a tabletop if you need. And meeting back in down dog. Nice. We'll do that again. Inhale, shifting into plank, holding this just for 1 big breath. And then slowly lowering all the way down, dropping the knees if you need, and then coming into cobra. And gentle back bend. And exhale, releasing into down dog, tucking the toes. Nice. Again, we'll do that 1 more time. Inhale, shifting into plank. Exhale, lowering, and this time coming into cobra or up dog, lifting. It's an up dog, lifting the thighs up off the ground. And back into down dog. Looking to the top of our mat, we'll step our feet forward and coming all the way up to standing, slowly rolling up, arms reach up, and exhale, hands to heart center. And they can release down in mountain pose. We'll take a few big breaths here. Options to close your eyes if you'd like. Taking a moment to feel very upright here. Head floating above shoulders. We'll prepare for some sun salutation. So thinking about connecting our breath as much as possible to every movement. Inhale, arms reach up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Back extends, and exhale, planting our hands into our mat, stepping back into plank, either going right into down dog or going through your flow, lowering down into low plank, cobra, or up dog, eating back in down dog. Take a big breath here. Inhale again, and exhale, looking to the top of our mat, stepping or hopping forward. And inhale, coming all the way up to standing, arms reach up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms reach up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, planting our hands into the mat. going through your flow, stepping back to plank, low plank, meeting in down dog. And taking your breath here. On your next exhale, looking to the top of your mat, stepping or hopping forward, and coming all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands to heart center. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale, arms reach up. And exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. And exhale, plant your hands into the mat, going through your flow, meeting in down dog. Taking a breath here. And your exhale, looking to the top of your mat, stepping or hopping the feet forward, and coming all the way up to standing. Arms reach up, coming to heart center, and then releasing them, mountain pose. Taking a few breaths, noticing any sensation building in the body. Where do you feel your breath right now? Inhale, we'll reach our arms up towards the sky. And exhale, letting our hips sink down, coming into chair pose. Arms can stay out in front of us or they can find heart center. Taking your version here and feeling our weight shifting onto the back of the heels, knees tracking along our middle toe. And finding a point to focus on, keeping our spine and neck long. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, planting our hands into the mat, stepping back into our down dog. And then we're gonna try another way to go into our up dog from here. So in down dog, we're gonna think about going into our plank, but first kind of going into a like cat, as if you can imagine, like in our tabletop. So coming into this plank cat and letting this kind of unfold into an up dog. Yeah, so it's kind of like a big body wave of sorts. And then bending the knees and shifting the hips back up, coming into down dog. We'll try that a couple of times if you'd like. So again, rolling forward, kind of arching the back, curving the spine and letting it unfold into up dog. Yeah, bending the knees and then letting our hips come back up towards down dog. We'll do that one more time. Then curving the spine, letting it unravel. Bending the knees, lifting the hips back up into down dog. And we'll lift that right heel up towards the sky. Three-legged dog. Feeling both hands firmly planted into the ground. Taking a breath in and exhale, bringing knee to nose. Gaze towards belly button. Inhale, extending three-legged dog. And exhale, knee to nose. And inhale, extend. And one more knee to nose, and then step that foot forward, coming into our high lunge. Feet on different train tracks, finding our balance, dropping our shoulders, finding your point of focus. Taking a breath in, slight arch up towards the sky, and then exhale, coming into a twist. So opening our arms up towards the right. Arms can be long here, reaching in opposite directions, front and back. Feeling our spine spiraling up towards the sky. And coming back to center, reaching the arms up again, slight arch. And then exhale, just shifting our upper body forward, coming into like an airplane upper body, but our legs stay where they're at. And inhale, coming up. And exhale, airplane. We'll do this a couple more times on your own breath, letting this be fluid, noticing how this lunge feels a little bit different depending on where our upper body weight is. Maybe our arms can come back to neutral, and we're gonna open up into a warrior two. Inhale, reversing our warrior. And then exhale, letting our hands come down onto our mat, pushing back into down dog, going through your flow if you would like, or staying right here in down dog. Inhale, we'll lift that left heel up towards the sky, three-legged dog. And then exhale, bringing knee to nose, gaze towards belly button. Inhale, extend. And exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose, and then stepping forward, coming into our high lunge on the other side. Making adjustments for this side to feel balanced. Stretch along that right front hip. We'll inhale, reaching up towards the ceiling or sky, and then exhaling, twisting towards the left. Arms are reaching in an opposite direction. Spine spiraling upwards. And inhale, coming back to center, slight arch here. And then exhale, shifting into that that airplane upper body. And then letting this find your own rhythm, connecting your breath to it. Noticing any movements your lower body needs to make to adjust. Coming back to our neutral high lunge and opening up into warrior two. That back leg spins down, feet perpendicular to each other. We'll inhale and reverse, reaching back for that leg length between that left hip and left fingertips. And then exhale, letting the hands come down, placing the palms into the ground, meeting back in down dog. Going through your flow, yep. Nice. We're gonna drop the knees down to the mat, coming into a seat on our knees. And then we're gonna come into a camel pose. So shifting onto our knees, placing our hands at the base of our spine, and then letting our chest expand outwards. Supporting our back with our lower back with our palms here. One more breath. And then exhaling back into child pose. So reaching the arms forward. Forehead can meet the mat. And we'll come into rabbit pose. So you can place, for support, you can place your hands right next to the sides of your head and rolling up onto the top of your crown. You can use your hands here, or you can connect them at the base of your spine and let them fall into a little bit of a shoulder rinse. Taking whatever version of rabbit feels accessible to you. Nice. Exhale, releasing out of that back into child's pose. Taking a few breaths here. Yeah, grab a sip of water if you need. Your next few breaths will meet back in down dog. Inhale, we'll reach that right heel up towards the sky. And letting that hip open, you can bend that knee, invite any sort of movement here, any hip openers. And extending that leg, turning the hip back in. We'll bring that knee to nose and step it forward into our high lunge. Arms reach up. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale again, coming into this airplane. Weight shifts forward. Coming back up. Just doing this a couple times. And then we're gonna extend that front leg. You'll probably have to step that back foot forward. We're gonna come into triangle pose. Yeah, so that making our step a little bit closer together. Hands can be on your hips or just to the side, whatever is more comfortable to you. And we're gonna let our upper body bend forward. Maybe taking a moment to try to keep our back as straight as possible. And then eventually just letting it round over that front leg. If you need to have a slight bend in that front knee, do so. Nice. And inhale, taking a halfway lift here. And exhale, releasing. We'll meet back in down dog. So however you best can get there, just stepping that back foot, adjusting your stance, going through your flow if you would like. Inhale, lifting that left heel up towards the sky, and bending that knee, opening the hip, inviting any sort of hip circles in here. Yeah, lubricating the hip socket. Turning that hip in, stretching that leg forward, knee to nose as we come into high lunge on the other side. Arms reach up. Deep breath in, expansion in the front body, and exhaling, coming into this airplane. Doing this one or two more times. Coming back to our high lunge, stretching that front leg, stepping that back leg in if you probably need, and preparing for a pyramid pose. Hands to be on our hips, wherever is most supportive as we expand up and over, trying to keep our back nice and long, and eventually letting it melt over. Maybe your hands find your leg or the ground. You know, a little bend in that front leg can be helpful. And here we can also ask ourselves where our breath is living. Where can we send our breath? Where are we experiencing the sensation of this posture? Taking an inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, releasing our hands into the mat. We'll step that back foot forward, coming into a forward fold. Feet can be a little bit wider than our hips. And we'll grab opposite elbows or maybe the back of your head. Invite any little movement here. Hanging out in our forward fold. If you need a little bend in the knees, trying as much to just think of our hips as a hinge, trying not to hold anything in our backs. And then releasing our hands into the mat. Let our toes point outwards and dropping our sit bones down, coming into a squat. And we're gonna just also let this be fluid. So you can kind of be pressing into your knees a little bit. You can rock back and forth a little bit. Yeah, a little experimental. If you would prefer to find stillness, that's also great. Letting ourselves get into our hips a bit. And exhale, releasing our hands down, hips shift up into our forward fold. We'll take a halfway lift here and exhale, planting our hands onto our mat, meeting back in down dog. Going through your flow if you would like. Inhale, we'll lift that right heel up towards the sky, opening the hip again, hanging out here, or option to flip your dog if you'd like. So letting that foot come down to the ground, opening up a little back bend, or just hanging in this hip opener. Nice. And then coming back to our three-legged dog. Awesome. And then stepping that foot forward, coming into our high lunge, arms reach up. Exhale, we're going to release our hands back down and let that right foot come in a little bit to the outside of your mat, coming into a little more of like an active lizard. So we'll try to keep our knee maybe off the ground. And again, over a hip opener here. You can press the in leg open a bit. You can always drop that knee if you need. We'll let that foot come back underneath us. Shifting back into our high lunge, arms reach up. And this time as we shift into airplane, we're gonna actually go there. So we can find maybe this airplane in our stance, and then stepping that back foot in and lifting that leg up off the ground. And returning to it if it's a little bit wobbly. Really trying to think about pressing our feet into the ground as the ground is pushing back into us. And also that back leg, that back foot is pressing into an imaginary wall behind us. Full back body is engaged, spine is long, and you have your point of focus. 2 more breaths here. And then releasing into a standing split, that leg goes up, bending over that front leg. Your palms can stay on the ground, or you might reach for an ankle, or your standing ankle, your right ankle. And releasing that foot down. Take a moment in our forward fold. Get any movement that feels good here. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, plant your hands into the mat, meeting back in down dog. Inhale, we'll lift that left heel up towards the sky. And then letting that hip open, hanging out here, or dropping it for a flipped dog. Expansion in our front body. And then coming back into our three-legged dog, bringing knee to nose and stepping it forward, coming into our high lunge, arms reach up. And feeling our front chest expand here. And then exhale, letting our hands come down onto our mat. That foot kind of opens up a little bit towards the left. And just taking a little more of an active lizard. Option to drop that back knee if you need. Bringing that left foot back underneath us, shifting back into our high lunge. And then exhale, releasing into our airplane arms, that upper body shifting forward. And we step that back foot in towards us as we come into a real airplane. Back leg lifting off the ground, both feet, energy pressing, giving us stability. Is there something we can relax here? Notice we can always return as we wobble or fall out of this. One more big breath. And exhale, releasing into our standing split. That back leg goes up, melting over that front leg. And then releasing that foot down, taking a halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. We'll meet back in down dog. Going right there. Yeah. Awesome. Nice. And then here we can take a moment in child's pose, take a few breaths, grab a sip of water, checking in with how we're feeling here. We might check in with our intention, with our breath. And then now is a great time if you do have any sort of inversion or you want to practice any inversion, or if you just need a little more rest here, I give you the next maybe 15 or so breaths to explore anything. That could be another rabbit pose, just rolling onto the top of your head, or if a headstand or anything else like that, or even just headstand prep. Or just staying right here in child's pose and letting that be your practice. Nice. The next few breaths, we will meet back in down dog. Once in down dog, we'll look in between our hands, stepping or hopping the feet forward. We'll come into a stand, reaching the arms up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms reach up. Then exhale, sinking our hips back, coming into a chair pose. Weight towards the back of our heels. And then we're gonna cross our right hand under our left, eagling our arms. And then for eagling our legs, we're gonna lift that right knee up and over. You can always keep that toe on the ground for some support, or you might wrap it around your foot here. Okay, so you can think about lifting the elbows up. You can also lift them down. So again, letting yourself be guided by what feels stabilizing here. Feeling everything pulling towards each other, pulling towards a line, pressing into each other. Sinking a little bit lower. And then releasing out of this, stretching up. We'll clasp our hands up ahead of us. Arms reach up and over towards the right for banana. And back to center. And to the other side. And back to center. You can let go of our hands. And exhale, sinking into chair. Preparing for eagle on the other side. So left hand going under, left elbow under right elbow, left leg up and over. Yeah. And pulling everything close into each other. Yeah, sinking in, maybe a little bit lower with each exhale. And a couple more breaths here. And really release out of this. And reaching the arms up. And then exhale, hands to heart center. We'll take 3 breaths here in our mountain pose. Keep your here, release them to your side. Maybe closing your eyes. Feeling our feet, all 4 corners of each foot pressing into the ground. You know, reaching our arms up. We're gonna come into one more chair pose. So it's our final chair pose, and it's gonna eventually bring us to the ground. And so as we're here, option to just slowly let yourself get lower and lower until your butt finds the ground, or you can also get yourself there in a different way. But you might just let your butt find the ground from here. Nice. And then we'll let our legs extend out in front of us. Gonna remove any flesh around your sit bones. We'll flex the feet, feeling our legs pressing into an imaginary wall. Spine really tall and long here. Reaching the arms up. And then exhale, forward fold, reaching towards our toes. Letting the head hang heavy. Nice. And it is up to you if you want this to be an active forward fold or more of a restorative one. Restorative, you can let the legs relax more. And you're breathing into the sensations in our back body, where we feel along our lower back or back of the neck. It's rolling one vertebrae at a time back into a seat, letting each vertebrae stack upon each other. We're gonna reach our, bend in our right knee and let that cross over our left. Reaching our right arm up and then coming into a twist, looking over our right shoulder. Yeah, okay, yeah, everyone's got it. I think, okay, yep. You know how it feels, right? And hearing or letting our spine feel really tall, spiraling. Slowly untwisting out of this. Then we're gonna come into, it's called cow face pose, which I don't know why. And what that looks like is we're gonna bring both knees in. If you have tight knees, this might not exactly work that way. You can keep that leg extended. But if you can bend both knees in, and as much as you can, try to stack them on top of each other. Cool. You can also take this on your back. That might be the more knee-friendly version. We can reach our, let's see, I guess we'll reach our left arm up behind us and our right hand down. So similar to how we started class, yeah. They might touch each other. They might just be resting on your back. Mine don't really reach each other. Just trying to feel our spine long here. And then exhale, we'll fold forward. You can keep your arms where they're at, or you can just let them reach forward on your mat. Maybe your forehead reaches towards your knee. Beautiful. And where can we soften with each exhale here? We'll slowly reach our head, our crown back up towards the sky. Unwinding the legs, maybe letting the knees rock back and forth a bit. And we'll come into a reverse tabletop. So feet are pressed into the ground, palms firmly planted behind us, fingertips pointing towards our heels. We'll lift our hips up and feeling length from top of the knees through our chin, maybe dropping that head back. And then exhale, releasing our seat down. We'll stretch that right leg long, left knee coming up and over, and then coming into a twist on our other side, that right hand reaching up, And then, yeah, pressing into the outside. Nice. Breathing into our spine here. Slowly unwinding out of this, coming into our cow face pose on the other side. So that right leg bending in, stacking knees on top of each other. And then reaching our right arm up and over towards our back. And then other arm reaching towards each other might be aspirational. If we can, try to be as much upright as possible here. Taking a big breath in, and then our exhale, folding forward. Arms can stay where they're at or reach forward on your mat, melting over our knees. Sending our breath to the sensation, letting ourselves melt in. Slowly coming out of this and unwinding. Maybe rocking those knees back and forth. Then we'll come into either another reverse tabletop or a reverse plank. Reverse plank, you would just keep your legs long or planting them in. So taking any version here, we're lifting our hips up and trying to feel that length in the upper body. And then exhale, releasing down. We'll lower ourselves all the way back onto our backs. And so you can support yourself there. Yeah, just go right there. And take a moment here, extending those legs out long. Yeah, taking a few breaths to feel the ground. Inhale that, we'll bring that right knee into our chest. Maybe giving a little hip circles here. Letting that knee cross over. And a little bit of a deeper spinal twist. Really letting gravity do the work here as we cross that over our left. Look over our right shoulder. In these still poses, knowing we can return to our breath, return to the sensations of where we feel it, or dance to the smooth jazz that's coming by our street. Coming back to center, bringing that knee back over our chest. And then we can reach for the outside of that foot, taking a half happy baby. Yeah, you can extend the leg if you'd like. And then letting that, eventually let that foot meet the left foot. Letting yourself neutralize before bringing that left knee into your chest. Giving yourself a little squeeze. Maybe looking towards your belly button. And eventually relaxing into a twist, crossing over towards the right, looking over left. Letting ourselves settle. Slowly bringing that knee back, coming back onto our backs, and that knee in, and coming into a half happy baby, reaching for the outside of that left foot. That's together here. Maybe you extend that leg. Releasing that leg long. And then taking the next minute or so for any other movements you might need or like. That could be a bridge pose. It might be a happy baby. Any other movements you'd like to take before finding a final resting pose. If you need a forward fold, a shoulder stand. Also, restorative rest can feel really nice with a lot of our hip movement, just letting our feet be wide and our knees turning in. This is a really great one to always return to. And as we make our way into a final resting pose, into Shavasana, giving yourself full permission to relax, to absorb. As you settle the breath, you might take a few more big inhales and exhales here. With each exhale, letting the body settle into the ground, letting all of the sand or dirt or pebbles settle into the bottom of our bodies, into our backs. Letting ourselves feel heavy. Letting the breath return to a natural rhythm. For this moment, there's nothing left to do. You can begin inviting some big breaths into the belly. Letting that expand to any movement in the fingers and toes. Gently waking ourselves up. Eventually letting ourselves come to one side. Before coming to a seat to close our practice together. Hands can be on our, rest on our thighs, or you can find your belly or chest. And we'll close our practice with three big inhales and exhales together. Taking a deep breath in. Bowing the head forward, honoring yourself and your practice, and for practicing in community today. Namaste.